たち何チーム友達関西関東西東北南チーム友達チーム友達チーム友達チーム友達チーム友達チーム友達俺たち何チーム友達お好み焼き食うつる阪神腹いっぱい飯はうまい一人じゃ寂しいし電話来たりかけ直した後すぐ行く会いに TEAMPOMOPHCHI
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, rabbits, raccoons, dogs, chickens, ducks, all of that stuff. This your boy Big Manny coming from Beyond the Blur, and I got my brothers with me. Below, I got Israel. Talk to him.
What's going on, y'all? It's my second time on the show, man. I am author of the upcoming manga. Pay attention, watch out for that. Stay tuned. It's dropping like later this summer, man. Later in the next few months, man. Like I said, it's my second time on the show, man. I got love for these brothers, man. These dudes is funny as hell. They cool as hell. I love their rants. I love their perspectives. They cool, man. I'm ready to rap with y'all, man.
Yes, sir. And then you know the one, his cousin used to say, the host with the most, but this ain't Ghost. Shout out to you if you watching. This is MKJ Digital. What's up with you, bro?
I ain't even got shit reckless to say today.
Oh, but no, we was talking a little reckless. And I want to bring the audience back a little bit, all right? Because we getting a little personal. And if you're watching this on Facebook, I apologize to my mother and father and everybody who think I'm goody two-shoes, but we're going to take a stroll down memory lane before we get into technology and anime and all of that. So we was having a conversation before the podcast went live with my brother Maz on how they tried to change me into like the evil Professor Oak. And if y'all don't know who that is, I'll bring a picture up of him. Basically, what the evil Professor Oak was back in our day, they used to have Pokemon cards. And there was this one creepy Pokemon card series that came out where it used to be like the imposter of whoever that person was. So this would be the person that they tried to turn me into. Let me get this out of here. This guy right here. Let me see. Get him out of there. This guy right here, imposter Professor Oak. That guy right here.
Hey,
that's who they tried
really
to make
be
me
like
be.
that, man.
That's who they tried to make me be. And for me, it's they like, oh, I just want you to be yourself. But I was just being myself. I was just being Crab from Ben Harbor, Big Manny, Big 40, as everybody know me. I was just being me. Can't nobody never tell me that they've never met me and I wasn't me. But I ran into some bad influence when I got to college. And those were a couple of brothers, and Maz was a part of that. After a little while, I left. I came back home. And regardless of what they want to say, whether it was heartbreak or whatever it was, Maz and the guys was always on demon time with me. And they were the guys that would be in high school who was trying to basically get me out of this indoctrination of love that I was in. So in a good way, they was being brothers.
So you was blue pill? Was you blue pill, my
guy?
I
was coming out.
Bro was just he wasn't one of them kids that grew up on the game side of shit. He grew up on one of them kids like we all are taught to play the game according to women's standard to keep a woman happy, right? Versus I gotta protect and fucking provide, therefore you fall under my.
Nah, look, he knew he was talking nonsense because he just froze and went out. He knew it. That was God. God knew. Look at him. Look at his face. Look at how froze he is. They know he was on bullshit. Now, since he might think that it was me, let me finish where he started off. Everything he was telling you was a goddamn lie. It was a lie. Basically, I would consider most of us come from the hood. Most of us come from, but we not street. We get brothers that's a little bit more street. They know street politics and all of that other stuff. You know, I was a football player. I was told to steer away from that. So I never really got involved with that. You know how they call Travis Hunter corny and all of that stuff, but he a
Exactly.
football player?
I
That was me.
I was corny. I'm not gonna say corny, but like I was nerdy. I was kind of a loner. I just kept to myself. I was in the anime and video games.
Exactly.
So we were
me and you are
sheltered,
the
bro.
same. Me and you was the same. I wasn't even sheltered. I could have went to the high school parties. I could have did all of that, but I just felt like it wasn't cool. Like the girls that I liked in high school, they weren't gonna mess with me just because I wasn't thugging like that. But I was a dude that would go home, play video games, watch anime, Gundam Wing. All of that led up to this. Every single part of that led up to this. The way that I think, my mind, my business acumen, and all of that led up to this.
So even with that being said, that ties into what y'all was just saying about certain women like resonating with Boma and wanting to be like Boma. It's a toxicity mindset, bro. To where they really did like the bad boys growing up. Simple and plain.
I wanted to be Goku. Did nobody ever look at Vegeta? But Maz and the crew looked at Vegeta and said he was the one. I looked at Goku and said he was the one. So no wonder why it's a whole bunch of Bomas running around wanting to be with Vegeta when I just wanted to be Goku, the person that could ride on Nimbus Cloud with a pure heart, the one that kicked everybody ass. You know what I mean? And so when I watch anime, my favorite character would be different than your favorite character, basically because of the principles that we had. You know,
every time.
So I just remember coming back home and I was just locked into the business side of things, right? And we put our crew together and everything. And I remember we said we're gonna have a podcast by the name of the Black NASDAQ Podcast. It's still up now, and you can slowly hear the deterioration of that podcast, episode in, episode out. Episode 1 and 2 was fire, but then you start noticing the change. I'm not gonna go too deep into the story because none of us like to go into the dark spot. But what I realized from that is they were trying to make it seem like I wasn't being who I was, right?
Okay.
When I just was like, everybody in this room probably is a street smarter than me, right? But I'm telling you now, I'm more book smart than y'all. So when you're gonna combat me, you can't claim both. If you're gonna say you're more street smart than me, cool. I got some street smart too, but I'm also book smart. I went to college, I played football, I did all of that. So if you're gonna look at me and say, oh, I'm trying to protect you, or this is not who you be and who you is, I will argue against the people from the streets that y'all didn't know who y'all was dealing with because y'all used to dealing with only street people. So now y'all meet a person with integrity, a person that got love, a person that want to do business. Now y'all trying to figure out what he own. Is he like is he really one of us?
Weird shit? Yeah.
Yeah, is he like who is he? What is he doing? So now it becomes weird for me because everybody around me like, oh, you're not used to being with a clique and a crew. No, I was never on gang. It's never on gang. I was always independent. I didn't need somebody to help me do anything in life. You know what I mean? In high school, I rocked with myself. In junior high, I rocked with myself.
Exactly.
Honestly, to be completely honest with you, I thought all this nerd stuff that I'll be doing, like Gundam Wing and Goku and all of that, being into technology, I thought that was lame because the hood made me think that was lame.
It made you feel like it was lame. Yep.
So now, all these years later, it's becoming cool. And I see the street dudes trying to cross over to my side. And it's like, oh, hold up. Keep that same energy.
That shit is wild to me, bro. I'm telling you, I've had the exact similar experience. You know what I mean? To where, damn, where was I going with that?
You good? You good?
Shit, man. Yeah, because I was mild mannered. I wasn't a street dude. I wasn't thugging it. It's like it's almost like we had to like play both roles, or what's it called? People call it
code switching for most people.
Code switching. Thank you, sir.
There's layers of code switching, even within the black community. Like, yeah, I can code switch when I go to work, but then when it comes to the streets, like Chicago is rough. I know where I'm not supposed to go. I know who, if I get in trouble, who to call. You know what I mean? And all of those things. And I know people that I'm not supposed to know. That's the big homies, right? But why would I ever be proud of that? A lot of people are proud of that. Like, I'm from a small hood of Benton Harbor, Michigan, and if you know anything about Benton Harbor, Michigan, there's nobody really this like wealthy. Like, there's nobody wealthy there. You know what I mean? So people get excited to say, "Oh, I'm from the trenches." I don't get excited. I'm trying to make something of myself. I'm gonna be. This sounds mad lame and mad corny. They're like, my parents was one check away from just struggling. I had moments in my life where I was either about to be homeless or I was homeless. Or, to be honest with you, fun fact about me, I remember being like 23 working at a GNC. I was so hungry I had to steal like a protein bar. So I ain't never just really came from like something. So for me, building up to this point and now seeing everybody from that side trying to come over, it's like, nah, I see what y'all trying to do. I see what y'all trying to make something that y'all thought was lame and not cool back in the day cool. You see what I'm saying? They see all these girls hopping on and being anime chicks, and now they want to run over.
Being anime chicks, being furries, cosplaying and shit. And really, it's a wave. It's a trend for these niggas. Nah, bro, this has been my lifestyle since I was fucking 8, 9, 10 years old. This is what I've been on, and it's. I'm not gonna say it's a part of my personality. It has nothing to do with personality. Really, it actually like tied into who your character was, like your sensibilities, like you were saying, like just wanting to be like Goku, just wanting to be pure hearted, bro. That was exactly me. To where
that was it.
I didn't want to be in the streets. I didn't want to be thugging. Like that's not my identity. I don't know. I didn't identify with that.
Like, it only took it took me one time. I'm gonna tell this. It took me one time. I was like, I'm gonna be a thug. I'm gonna try it. And after that time, I was like, never again. I was in college, and I remember hanging out with certain people, and they were selling like weed and everything. And basically, what I ended up doing was like, I was like, yeah, well, I'm a rock with them. Now they indoctrinated me enough to let me know that this was cool. And I remember one night we went to go we went to go pick up like a stash from some guy in the suburbs. The police got behind us.
Ooh.
The police got behind us. And I kid you not, it just started raining out of nowhere, like a torrential downpour or out of nowhere.
Look, that was God talking to you.
So that was a situation. There was also another situation, still the same college. We up in the suburbs, up north Chicago. And basically what ends up happening is me, I ain't gonna say their name, and two other of my roommates, we end up going to the mall. And we ain't do nothing. We just, guys, if you know anything about college, you get your refund check. It's turned up time. Everybody got a little bit of money. That's how you know you went to college. You get that little refund check. You ain't thinking about, I got to pay this back when I'm 34. It's turn up time.
Ball out and turn up.
And ball out. So we go to the store. All of us got money. It was no need for us to steal, but we went. We got our stuff. We leaving out. We hop in the car, and out of nowhere, it's like 6 or 7 police cars surrounding us in the suburbs. Keep in mind, true story. We didn't do nothing. I'm not driving. I'm in the back seat. The police walks to the front of the car. What then ends up happening is the police got the guns pointed at us. We got our hands up in the car like, yo, what is going on? Like, we like scared as hell because we don't know what's happening.
Can y'all
what ends
hear
up
me?
happening is the police. Yeah, we can hear you. Let me land on my story. So basically, the police walks around to the driver's side, sticks his hand in the driver's side, and turn the car off and tell us to get out. We don't know our laws. We don't know none of that, right? So we get out the car, and we looking at each other, panicked as hell. And I'm like, they was like, yeah, we just got a radio in that there was some people stealing from a store or something like that. And we lost as hell because it was like, we've been together the whole time. So this is a true story. This happens more often than not. They basically said it was another African-American gentleman in the store, basically that shoplift. And they set us there. This is where the story gets bad. So we all had tattoos and everything. And the police told us we're going to treat it like a music video. True story. True story.
Oh, wait.
Treat it like a music video. So they bring out the cameras they take out the cameras and they take pictures of like all our tattoos and everything. We just college kids being stupid. Like, yeah, we know we didn't do nothing, but we didn't know that what they were doing, taking pictures of every tattoo, every mark that we got, and all of that. Finally, they get a radio in from somebody who said we got the right person. So they finally get a radio in.
How they
This
did
is
y'all,
Schaumburg.
man.
This is Schaumburg, Illinois. They finally get a radio in and say we got the right person. So they finally got the right person, and then we duck off. We leave. I got quite a few stories like that. But in my mind, as you get older, it's like even if you was doing something crazy, they was gonna find whatever that crazy that was not related to that. So it's no point in being involved in any type of crime, any type of thugging or anything. Because because I look a certain type of way, they could be pulling you over for this and they find that.
You know what that's called, bro? That's just yeah, that's just another day as a young black man, bro. That's EWB right. Existing while black.
So that made me double down. I had two sets of friends. I had my suburb friends, and then I had my hood friends. Mine just so happened to be the hood friends. But I had friends who watch Gundam Wing, play with Pokemon cards, and all of that. And I still got the same friends to this day. You know what I mean? Because I can go right or I can go left. But the reality of it all was, those two situations made me look at life and be like, "There's no point. There's no point."
Try to be out here thugging, man. Like I done went to a couple parties, like a couple hood functions with some of the homies. This is back when I was like in my early 20s, bro, and I felt like I was about to go in a different direction. I was dressing different. I would throw on hats from like some of the homies was banging or whatever. So I would just try to blend in. I used to think like, yeah, I'm gonna catch me a couple girlies like this, whatever, right, bro? And what it is, they could always tell it was something different about my spirit. It was something different about the way I would talk to and approach people. Like I wasn't on what everybody else was on. I didn't have certain lingo. I didn't have a certain swag to me. And by like my mid-20s, I kind of just like I finally gave into it. I finally accepted, okay, this is who I am. There's like really no reason. There's no reason to like try to be something I'm not, bro. Like authenticity goes a long way, bro. With women and life.
Yeah, I couldn't swallow that pill till I was like 26, 27, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I always beat myself up for it because you in your 20s, you trying to like figure the world out. You seeing people within your same age really balling. Like, and you just like, man, what did I do wrong? You know what I mean? You just trying to be an honest, upstanding citizen, and you got two different forces hitting you upside the head. You got the have and the have-nots. and you trying to get to a place of humbleness where you said, I worked for it, and it just felt like the world was against you. So now it's just wild to me that I kept defaulting in playing video games, watching anime, being in the technology, all of that stuff. And I'm of the belief if I would have went to a better high school, I would 100% be in a far superior situation, because I went to a public school that didn't have the greatest reputation, didn't have the greatest standing when it comes to reading and writing. You can Google my high school right now. They just hit the news or something. It was a big brawl between two cities. You know what I mean? So that's basically where I came from. But so imagine you go through all of that and you see the contrast between the good and the evil, the right and the wrong, and then you run into dudes who try to peer pressure you to do wrong. It's like, I'd have been through this already. I already know what you trying to sell me. It ain't gonna cash. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna just fall back and be me every time. Yeah.
Right. So we had situations where we in the studio, we talking about anime, sports, or whatever. These knuckleheads will always bring like some unidentified, I ain't gonna say that, some unidentified women, right? And every single time, even the homie was like, it's something about y'all too that they keep gravitating something to. And I just didn't. I wasn't looking at them like that because I was like, you're not even my type. Like
Yeah.
they always wanted to argue with me. It was like so natural. I was like, oh shit, I'm being toxic and they love it. just not. But he was the one, Maz was the one that not only brung one, but brung two. He been on some pimping shit his whole life. His whole life.
What you got to say about that, Maz?
I ain't got to say shit. My
Am I wrong?
My nose don't be open like that, goddammit.
Oh. See, look, he not denying it.
Boy. So you was never like a naive young boy trying to figure women out, trying to figure life out, navigate it, bro.
He grew up differently than us.
No,
bro. I feel like I got
different. His elders was giving him 50-year-old game at 5. Far superior.
Wait. Here go a better backstory, right? My OG is baby mama number like 9 or 10.
Nah.
Of my father's kids.
He was right.
I'm number 13. I grew up with different rules.
Pops was running through shit.
Pop was
exactly
him on the other side.
No matter what insecurities anybody trying to put on you, right? Your prime example ain't got it. It don't apply to him, therefore it don't apply to you.
So one thing you'll see on these shows, they tell you like, if you a man and you ain't got this or this or this and this, that you should be dating. I was a man that knew he was staying with his uncle. Like I just moved. Here's the story. I just moved from Toronto to Chicago. And that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. I moved from Toronto to Chicago. I came to Chicago, but with nothing but 2 pairs of shoes and a black bag of old clothes, basically. So I had nothing. I hit him up like, I'm on my way back to Chicago. He was like, I'm already en route. So we already politicking, kind of figuring out what we was about to do in terms of business, right? So about time that I get to Chicago, my mind ain't on no female or trying to shoot no shots. Me and his argument was always, I was like, I want to be able to shoot a good shot for when I see the opening that I want. Like I want to be able to shoot 87% from the field to 100%. He was like, take as many shots as possible. I don't care if you're a 25% shooter. As long as you shoot some shots, shoot 1,000 shots. A point is a point.
I can see that. I can see that.
You see what I'm saying? So he not wrong.
Wait.
I went through the same process myself, bro.
Wait. In order to be a good gunsmith, right, or a good sniper person, right, you spend a lot of time dumping meaningless fucking rounds at the range.
I'm not saying that you're wrong, but now as we enter a situation where I came from a bad situation, bad relationship, whatever it is, my mind is solely focused on business. You get around your homies and your homies peer pressure you into things that you just like, you wasn't even thinking of, right? So now you got your mind focused on business and their minds is focused on elsewhere. Their minds is focused on something completely different. But then you become the center of attention because you go up against the system. And anything that goes against the system is not for the system. Therefore, it must be exterminated or indoctrinated.
Destroyed or assimilate.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what happened.
Wait. Here's what happens to 40, right? Instead of 40 saying I, he says we. He tries to include everybody, right? If bro say I, it's a whole different. But you saying we, nigga, you gonna have to either come to terms with the program of we, as in when you're in Rome, you do what the Romans do, or you say I and you stand on your own.
So that's where the growth part. So
when you constantly say we,
comes in.
When you say I, perfect example. When you say all women, right? You're including all women versus some.
Fact. I still have that problem to this day.
Me, I treat everybody on a case-to-case basis.
Real rap. That's real. That's facts.
Because I can apply, I can apply all the rules across the board to you, but I still got to treat you on a case-to-case basis because your crazy ain't gonna match mine.
This is one person that even after like just the 3 years of happened, I go back to him and like, yo, you was right. I tell him like you was right about a lot of stuff, right? So I'll be stupid to say I didn't learn anything from him. I learned a lot from him, but you got to be willing to sit in the dark. And you got to be willing to jump down a dark hole. And sometimes, in 98% of the time, as a man, especially an African American man, that rabbit hole goes deep. Ain't nobody for to save us.
Man, you ain't never lied.
Ain't emotionally, they say they want us to be emotional, but ain't nobody gonna save us. Fiscally, nobody's going to come save us. We don't get the benefit of having saving, right?
Or even support. Yeah.
So he come from knowing that. The only difference between me and him now is he acknowledged it. I'm numb to it.
That's real, like, man.
Since he's been
that shit'll do it to you.
So he acknowledges it. I'm numb to it. So whatever life throws at either one of us, and I'm pretty sure you at this point, it's like whatever it is, what it is. But our reactions is different. You know what I mean? Like there's like I'm numb to a lot of stuff.
Hey man, at the end of the day, yeah, like you gotta learn. You can't hate the player. You gotta hate the game, my boy. And that's for everybody listening right now too. Hey man, if you a young man, figure out how to talk to women, bro. Like, I mean, you know, a lot of
get it off of women. It ain't just women. It's everything.
It's everything. Okay, yeah,
it's everything.
Figure out how you really moving, how you maneuvering out here in life, man, and adapt to your surroundings, but like stay true to who you are, man. Like that's the best policy. That's how you went out here.
Yeah. All of that to say, make sure you stay true to who you are. If you 20, you probably not gonna know who you are. Very rarely, a young 20-year-old figure out who they are.
Bro, you met me at 18, 19.
But that's what I'm saying. But here's the argument, and this is not a relationship or philosophical podcast. We're gonna get into our topics, but imagine a man who understands life a little bit more at the age of 17. You know how many women he corrupted?
Chill.
With a straight face. We running two different races. Like we running parallel, but you running a little bit faster. And because you know that this is let's stand on business. Let's stand on business. For him, he like an expert at the game at 18, 19, and he knows what he's doing when it comes to an 18-year-old girl who wants to
go up.
No,
I can't date shit younger than my phone number.
No.
We not going.
Let me clear. I got you. Hold up. I'm not talking about you now. Imagine you being 18. Let's go back 10, 15 years. You at 18 and another woman that's 18. Society typically guards women a lot harder than they guard young men. So now enter in a person like you who's more advanced at 18. Mentally, you're technically like 25, 26. You're going to corrupt that 18-year-old. Now she's going to be looking to date older men because she's already experienced
a young
more
man
advanced shit. So now a brother like me who's running very, very slow in the game, it all of a sudden turns into never had a chance. Until you level up and then you get back and you look back and be like, I don't want nothing to do with none of that because you played me. You see what I'm saying? And vengeance is mine. So I don't want nothing to do with none of that. But outside of that,
vengeance is always mine.
Outside of that, we're gonna leave it all alone. I'm happy we actually had this conversation because this is almost an icebreaker to the first topic, which is: do you think technology is making people smarter or dumber? We talked about as man. some men being more advanced than other men, but from the aspect of just in general, do you think technology overall is making us dumber as we go along or smarter?
I think I'm gonna put it like this: as the world and society continues to progress, I think when we had it, or it was introduced to us as like young millennials, 2004, 2005, it was something like groundbreaking. It was something that like helped the cause. It was something that was definitely beneficial for everything around us. Social media, the internet, stuff like that kept us connected. I think at this point it's making us dumber. I think it's making us like reliant on technology in the sense that I've even heard stories about kids who go to school and they got iPhones. They got these super advanced iPhones in their pocket. They're able to do math problems like with no problem. They cheating on tests. They ask Google and Chat GPT whatever the hell they need to, whatever the hell is on the test, whatever the hell they can't figure out. They just go ask Google. It wasn't even like that when we was growing up, man. Like these kids are, man. I don't know that's my take on it.
Let's not hate on these kids. Let these kids be great at what they got.
But you would say
we didn't have that growing up. We had to figure it out.
My parents ain't had Casio calculators either when we was growing up.
They had protractors, fool.
But you would say, so you standing on technology is making us dumber. That's where you at?
No, I can't stand on that. I can't stand on that one.
So,
it makes us lazy. It makes us lazier, not dumber. It makes your ability to think with context clues a lot less relevant than it is to be able to figure something out by just what is it? Critical thinking. Technology takes out a lot of critical thinking.
That makes us dumb, bro, by default.
So for the people that's watching on Instagram coming in, we're talking about it's technology making us smarter or dumber as we go along. And I felt like it was important to access because I sat there on the porch and I had a conversation with people because in theory, technology is supposed to be making us smarter, right? It gives us where we now have the most access to information or none. Like we have the most access, but you still see a lot of stupid stuff. So is it we only hear about the stupid people and it's so outrageous that that's the reason why we're hearing about it? But I even brought this up when it came to like the Black community, right? When you go back 10, 15 years ago, we had X amount of lawyers and doctors and all of that. We have now more to date, more doctors and lawyers and African Americans in these professional and political fields. Does that mean that by default we're smarter? Because if you say, oh, we just have access to the information, naturally you got to say, well, if we had access to the information, we're smarter. But that's also because of technology as well. For us millennials, our parents wasn't the smartest people in the world. So we had to get that information from somebody. And if you grew up how we grew up with the street politics, and then if you grew up the way we grew up with the public schools wasn't teaching us shit. But somehow we still prevailed. Us millennials, we still prevailed. So are we getting smarter or we getting stupider? I like his what he said when it comes to critical thinking. But if you say no you can clean it up if you want to. You can clean it up if you want to. I'm gonna always go the opposite way because I researched this extensively to play the devil's advocate.
Bro, I'm
standing on that one. I'm standing on that.
Okay. So he said we're getting stupider, and Maj, you say we're getting smarter. Technology is making us smarter.
No, it's taking away our lack of critical thinking. It's taking away our common tool, our common knowledge.
You took this exactly where I wanted you to go because this is what came up in most of the conversations. So Almighty, I see you. You say technology gives us resource to make us stronger Now, if you rely on it, that's on you. I fucks with that. 100% fucks with that.
Thank you.
Now we talking critical thinking skills, right? We have been losing critical thinking skills every single year. When I graduated in 2008, and I specifically remember just us being in class, and basically the teachers was like letting us have it because they just thought we was dumb because we was different than every other generation. But if you are a teacher that's still in these same political school systems that stand now, you wish we was back because we look like geniuses compared to the kids now.
Straight up, look.
So every single
attention
year,
spans.
Yeah. So every single year we lose critical thinking. So how would you define critical thinking? And this is where most people get caught up. Maz, how would you define critical thinking? I hope you thinking.
So the problem, I want to use something, and I want to use common sense as a factor, but everybody ain't got that shit, bro. Which means everybody don't have the ability to think like with common sense or process things on that level. It's like women in the whole 50-50 bill conversation or the whole relationship 50-50 bill conversation.
Right.
The common sense factor of if I got to pay 100% of the bills on my own and they pay 100% of the bills on their own, if we come together, we're not paying 100% of a fucking bill. Or one person is, we could use 100% of this money to do something else.
Does that make sense to you? The critical thing, maybe I took my eye off the ball a little bit.
Aspect of like just
what define critical thinking. You got about 10 people watching you right now. So that's what I said. For them, define critical
thinking, right? Look, I always have this conversation with my girl. What they teach us in school is like again the public school system, bro. They only teach us what they want us to know, which is bullshit anyway. So the people who are getting A's, the people who are graduating college degrees and shit, they're taking in the information and regurgitating it and getting degrees, bro. That's not necessarily smart. I think being smart and critical thinking is your ability to think yourself out of a difficult situation. Let's say you was trapped in prison, and by some crazy ass means you figure out a way to break yourself the hell out of prison on some, whether it be on some anime shit or whatever. That's a smart motherfucker. That motherfucker used critical thinking right there.
So I'm gonna give y'all how I broke it down. I said critical thinking is being able to efficiently and effectively figure out a problem. Straight to the point. Critical thinking is being able to effectively and efficiently be able to figure out and solve a problem. So if you got critical thinking, you're going to always be in the top tier of a smarter person. But then the critical thinking part of it, that you don't just, do you naturally get that, or you get that from your parents and your community? You see what I'm saying?
I think
it's a rabbit hole for sure.
It's a rabbit hole for sure. I think it's based on an individual basis. Parents could be dumb as rocks. But
real quick, shout out to Sunshine Indy. You got it before I could put it up there. She said he or she said problem solving. So being able to solve a problem effectively and efficiently, basically, that's what you call critical thinking. So if you're saying we're getting dumber,
so men will always be better critical thinking than women.
Bingo.
I didn't say that. Remember, this is the same guy that said not too long ago that I be bashing. No, see, you see what I'm saying?
Hey, yo, he really did.
You see what I'm saying?
You ain't even have to go there, boss.
See what I'm saying? So now if I tell them to come back for the women audience and stand on business and explain, because this is the way my wife explained it to me. Me and her had a conversation. I said, women are doing better at school and college because y'all are better at critical thinking when it comes to that setting. They
going to school.
Wait, stepping on my point. They took the men out of school when it came to like woodworking class, mechanics class, carpentry class, especially when it comes to the black community, because that's the way they wasn't giving us nothing. But if we could go out there and make money for ourselves with our hands as black men, like plumbers and all of that, we would be the critical thinkers. Women will always beat us in terms of a classroom setting. Women are smarter than us when it comes to classroom setting. I'm not going to say all the time, but studies have shown that women do very well in a classroom setting. Men are more hands-on. So when you now define critical thinking, which you see what I'm saying? Maybe it tells you, A, we need each other. That's A. And B, I may be a better critical thinking in this particular area than you are. You see what I'm saying? We can't say we better critical thinkers than women, because when it comes to children and things that's going on, I grew up when I was sick. Just give that boy some Sprite or some ginger ale and some saltine crackers. He'll be all right. You could be sick as hell. He'll be all right.
Hey, look, I ain't even going to front. I'm pretty sure I was a slow fucking kid. So, like,
well, damn. You too, Miles. Don't be looking at him. You too.
Cognitively speaking, I don't even think I hit my stride until like 14, 15, bro. I was like, wait, I was able to really sit back and like think about what the hell was going on around me. I started to notice like toxic family dynamics and toxic systems, abuse and shit. Like, yeah, no, bro, I was slow, man. So it didn't hit for me until a little bit later.
So for me,
all the kids that make C's and D's, they go make their own businesses and everything. Oh, I know he's gonna say something.
They become content creators.
Go ahead, Miles. Yeah, go ahead.
No. Y'all got it.
Look,
they become content creators, bro.
Nah, but
I'm just waiting on all the critical thinking from the women so they can catch on to what I said before.
So you remember that?
Y'all got that Teddy Riley Wi-Fi.
You remember what I said earlier, that he used dark psychology?
You literally did just say that earlier in the pod.
So he'll make you think that I'm something that he actually did. Damn. I'm giving you a thought process, but he's physically done the thing that he's accusing you of.
Hey, in real time.
You see what I'm saying? I think both men and women have high awareness, as our commenter says, and I think we are. What situation you in, right? Because this can go to many different things in many different subcategories, but stats will say that we're getting smarter. Are we becoming more reliant upon technology? Hell yeah. An example that I gave somebody was, imagine that you got on the highway, right? You rushed out of your hotel, you checked out late, you hopped in your car, you got on the highway. Many of us, we've been down through backwoods before. We get on the backwood, our phone is at 15%. We've all had a situation like this. My phone is at 15%. I got to figure out where the hell I'm going with this 15%. So I call my people to say, hey, yo, my phone is for the die. Wait. I'm calling my people saying, my phone is for the die. I'm on my way, yada, 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 blase, blase. How do I get to yada, yada? By the time you hang up the phone and that person try to coach you through it, your phone is now at 5%. It is pitch black.
It's pitch black.